Okay, we're doing a short stream here because I was working on some other stuff and I don't have too much time because I need to do some other stuff tonight yet, probably as well. But we can get, a good hour here done, so we might as well. I want to try and implement some extra features, I guess you could say. Um, just to see how they work out. So I have a audio track, essentially a placeholder audio track, but I want to try and add it. Using audio add functions. Audio play sound. To provide a sound asset. Do we see a sound? Yes, sounds. Create, oops, not that. Create a sound. Conversion, uncompressed, not streamed, output, audio group. How do I import the file? Choose sound file. Bingo. Downloaded it from my SoundCloud today, which I got back into. Okay, it works. It is let's drop the volume a bit. Let's put it just at a quarter, maybe. Okay, so we now have that. Now let's put that in the battle. So I guess where do we start the timer in the battle system? Current question. Battle start button. Go to room battle. We go to the room battle, which will have some sort of setup stuff, AI layout, and status handler. Let's start with the layout. On creation, alarm room speed. Okay, the alarm is started here, so we can probably just start the music after that. Play sound. All right, so we do audio play sound. Sound ID priority loops. Okay, I see how it works. So we want to do something like that. And then test it. It works. Okay, question. So currently this track is of an arbitrary length. What is going to happen when the battle ends? Probably keeps playing. Okay. It persists through room changes. How do I make it stop when the room changes? Hey, Biocraft, thanks for swinging by. Audio play sound, create an instance. Does that do anything? Maybe. Looping sound. Audio effects, advanced audios. Um, okay. Audio play sound. So the example is just the same function, but doing this. So if I do this, let's not just start doing stuff blindly here. Let's look at a good way to handle this. Audio stop. Ah, okay. But it needs an index. Sound can be either a single instance of a sound, index for the individual sound must be given, or audio plays sound or sound asset. Okay. So I should be able to, yes, okay, I see how this works, exactly this. Okay, audio stop in sound, and then the name of the sound file to stop the music, so we need that on the victory screen, essentially. Maybe we just do like here for now. Like that, and then we run it. Music kicks in. We are temporarily winning a battle. This is shocking. It will not last. There's the bleed. That usually signals our demise. I actually want to lose because I want this to end prematurely, just to make sure this works. Come on, kill me. Okay, we're dead. Nice, and it just kicks off as soon as we hit the battle screen. Okay, cool. Yeah, we want probably more to that, because it's kind of jarring how it just shuts off completely, like a transition sound, obviously, or something would be good, or, you know, it would transition to some other part of the soundtrack. The point of this is not to actually do anything involved with the sounds or anything permanent. It is merely to test it out. In the same sense, I have potentially new sprites to play with. So we have the Carnotaurus sprite. No animation work, right? Now, if I import a new test sprite. Oh, hold on. This is still open here. If I import a new test sprite with some very crude animations. The goal here is a very, very, very crude, very basic walk cycle. Current frame 1. So if we do Do we just do these? I guess we do this. Porting files to spread is not undoable action. I mean, sure. Okay. Okay. 4 frames. Very comical. Very crude. Now, theoretically, what happens if we just run this? Okay. That's what happens if we run that. Okay. So this, okay, I see. Shit. We had a different width before. Whoops. 1151 was like 13 or something. I should have looked at it. I should have imported this as a, or backed up the old one just because. Um, okay, he's still large. Four hundred. I mean, the height should be, oops, not that. The height should probably be similar. Must not have been 300-ish. Should try to find out what it was. Yeah, now he's smaller, but... Comically so. Okay. Um... 6? That's close to what it was before. I think he should be a little bit bigger. Flipping off the bottom. He's getting pretty badly pixelated too, because of the way the resizing works. Kind of just want to get a sense of what his height should have been. That's about right. Okay, 650 on height. Should I actually... I could try watching one of the old streams. Catching it that way. It's kind of not important, honestly. It doesn't matter that much. Let's do this again. So just re-import. And then resize to 650. Okay, make sure that looks better. Okay. Now, we need to adjust the playback speed. Yes, what is it? Jesse is indeed my name. So this is at 30 FPS. We do 4 FPS. We could leave him moving on this screen. Your hockey team lost. Well, now they're going to kick you out of Canada. Yeah, I know what the NHL is. Okay. So, not a terrible default FPS. Let's remember how we adjust the frame rate. We'll leave it as 4 as a default. It's preseason, doesn't matter. Okay, I guess you've survived the purge this time. So we want the sprite to only animate when we're actually moving. So we need to find where we're handling movement again. Player object, probably. Yeah, we have the key presses. Draw self. That we have. Okay, so let's look at how we handled. Wait, how did we handle attacks before? Am I going to London to play GW3? No. Do you think I am made of money? I'm staying right the fuck here. It was never even a consideration that I would go. It's expensive to fly to Europe. Where's the actual... How am I actually doing these attack animations? I don't... Like, am I blind? I don't actually have a sprite for this? Oh, here, attack anim. I am blind. Yeah, there's a sprite. Attack anim. And how are we generating the usage of this sprite? You're craving Doritos? Welcome to my life, man. Doritos are delicious. Maybe I'm generating the sprite specifically under the attack resolution. Instincts create depth attack animation vars. Yes. Okay, and the vars is name animation time. So we're feeding anim time to instance create depth, which is x coordinate, y coordinate, the depth, the object, and these structures that are being fed to the object. We do have an attack animation object. I just didn't recognize that it's up here. So that's taking these current time greater than or equal to real time. What the fuck was this for? I don't remember why I did that. Image speed 1 over anim time. Okay, that's under the object. Under creation. Oh, I see why I have real time here. Okay, so if we do... This is 60 FPS. Is it? No. Okay, let's just experiment with this so I can remember how this works. Or actually, it'll tell me. The speed in which it will cycle. Yeah, but it doesn't tell me what it means, per se. Let's just do this. The dark bag is the best. That is incredibly unspecific. Which bag is the dark bag? Okay, I think 1 is playing at normal speed. I'm guessing. You know what? Let's just look it up. I should just get more in the habit of this. Single precision floating point value. Speed value is a multiplier. So this is 1 times the default FPS. That makes sense. That would be why it is playing at the normal speed when it is a 1. 0 will then freeze it. And now, oops, I keep clicking train. Now when we start the battle, no animation is playing. Perfect. Okay. I thought we want to just do image speed. Key press. Okay, wait. Key up speed 0. Key press speed unit speed. Okay. Wait, maybe I can use speed on this. Rather than introduce new variables. So if we do image speed equals speed, unit speed, units. Wait, is unit speed even used? Yes. So the speed at which the thing moves becomes the unit speed. The image speed we would want to be the same as the unit speed. So if he's moving at 1.25 times, then sure. Except we want this to be a 0 actually here. Then we set the image speed to unit speed only when the key is pressed down. Then we reset it to 0 when the key is pressed up. Excuse me. What is my favorite Doritos bag? I like the barbecue. I'm a barbecue boy. Ooh, and the frames actually stop wherever, like, mid-animation. That's kind of sick. That's actually not that hard to do. So you would kind of need to just tailor your frame rate to the movement rate. Cool. Okay. When is the game gonna be finished? Fucking 6 years, man. I don't know. It's a long ways from being finished. Okay, let's do the baryonics. So the baryonic sprite. Height 400. Remember that number. Let's just do one of these. Print screen, paste this. And then we do add image. Nope, just kidding. Import image. Did I see the Wolverine PS5 game? I saw that it is a thing that exists. That's all I know. I did not look at the trailer because I do not care. Alright, there he is, Sonic the Hedgehogging at maximum speed. Definitely looks like the legs clip weird on this animation because it's very crude, but there it is. Height should be 400. 400, 1151. Yep. Do I have Doritos in my house right now? No, because if I did, I would have eaten them already. All right, so now that's the sprite with the default animation, right? And then we go to the enemy object. Decision, forward movement, direction backwards, direction forwards. Speed 0. Okay, so we want to do the same image speed thing. Speed 0, image speed 0. We want to create it with image speed 0. Wait, create speed equal unit speed. We initialize this moving. I guess. That's fine. Speed 0, speed 0, speed unit speed. Image speed equals unit speed as well, which is 1. Yeah. So this will be 4 FPS, and the Chronotaurus will be 5 FPS. Because they have different movement rates by design. I want to get him to stop moving specifically to see if I can actually catch him in a position where he is not animating. Yeah, so he's always moving. But that's probably fine, because I think... Yeah, because it's deciding kind of constantly. So there's not much opportunity for it to not move within the space of which it animates. Because this is every step. So this is every frame. It is making this decision on moving. The only time it stops moving is at the limit. Wait, but then why doesn't it stop? If it stops moving when I back into the corner, it should stop animating. Oh, because it's gonna try to not move back. Yeah, okay. It's gonna constantly roll these move forwards, and it just can't. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at this again. Some random range, forward and backwards. Favorite ranges. Directional changes, inner bound and outer bounds. If position is in between inner or outer, he just moves. Stops moving. Yeah. Yeah, because if the position would be outside or at the limit, stop moving backwards. Or if it's at the inner limit, stop moving forwards. And this is change direction, resetting the animation rate. Oh, we should have image speed equals 0 here, I guess. I mean, just ultimately anywhere a speed change happens. Speed equals unit speed. Image speed equals unit speed. Wait, why is this... Why is this here double? I probably forgot it was up here. Well, I'm not going to touch it. If it works, don't question it. Alright. Maybe he'll at least stop moving during attack animation. Malformed assignment. If else. Oh, because these don't have the brackets. I guess you can do an if statement without the brackets if it's a single line. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Oops. It's just funny that I never caught that. Okay. Okay, yeah, he does stop animating during attacks. But I don't when I'm holding down the key press. Do I care about that detail? Does that actually matter that I don't animate? Or I do animate. Like, do I want my character to not animate when that is happening? Probably not worth it. Not worth implementing. Point is, sprite animations work. Okay. Next thought. What about animating the character on the ranch menu? So he just spawns here. This is an instance of a sprite. Okay. Yeah, so that's just a sprite I dragged in there. So if we do this, so now I have the object. Should be duplicated. Just making sure this works the way I expect it to. Okay. Why did that undo all my buttons? Okay, so that messed up my default like layering. Oh, because I'm in a different shit. Here's the sprite. Wait, okay. Ranch layout, player ranch, instances, background. Instances 2. Okay, first question. Yes, the buttons are still blank. Now if I move it here, still blank. Ranch layout is presumably generating this text. Yep, here. Draw text. So if we have draw text, XY string, instance create depth ranch action. Which part of this is the depth? XY depth is this. So is the issue that these are not deep enough? What if I put these at like fucking 200? This is the function for the ranch. Inspect ranch. Okay, now that text. Now we okay, so that's push the button part behind the text, but also behind the background. Hey Connor, how's it going? Hey T-Rex Boy 647. I don't have a name for this game yet. I had a name and I forgot it. I, I like came up with a name at one point, just off the top of my head, and I don't know anymore what it is. Game's coming along all right. Um, I'm currently trying to add a little life to the ranch menu for the dinosaur, but inadvertently have broken the text um, features here. So we're trying to figure out. It's something with the layering, which I don't fully understand in Game Maker. Okay, well, I mean, that fixed it. So all we have to do, actually, I don't have to actually learn anything. I can just do this. If we put all these at depth 100, it just works. So we'll just Todd Howard a little bit, and it'll just work. So the next goal is I want the dinosaur to kind of wander back and forth. That's the idea. Okay, so we should be kind of back. Yeah, the Carno is very, very rough, both in terms of the really basic animation and the sprite work in general. This is shit that I did in like 30 seconds. So that's good. All the text on the screen that I expect to be there. Tournament button works. All right. And then yeah, he animates only when I'm pushing the mouse button. We have a placeholder shit there. Great. We're just gonna spam our way through this fight because we don't win anyway. You are raising dinosaurs to fight in tournaments to increase your rank and clone more dinosaurs and fight in more tournaments. It's kind of a riff on the Monster Rancher formula. So we lost that fight, as expected. Okay, so next plan. I want to go to our new object we've created for the ranch version of the dinosaur. Yep. The baryonyx is like fucking unbeatable for whatever reason. They're supposed to be balanced, but in practice, the baryonyx like always wins. We've beaten it like once in like fucking 30 attempts or something. So if we do speed equals 1. And now he's walking. He's just wandering. There he goes. Bye. He's just gonna keep walking. He's just gonna disappear. Okay. I mean, he's functioning under like the same restrictions for how often he can attack that I can. So it's not like fundamentally that. Um, the it's just the Baryonyx's moveset is just better. I gave him better attacks, I guess. The bleed effect the Baryonyx has is like really good. So I think it's mostly just that like the bleed is quite effective. And just like the stat distribution, probably the stats aren't like super balanced. I've kind of just threw in like the stats. I didn't really like do a lot of heavy theory crafting on the exact, combat formulas and stuff. And so I think the stat distribution just favors the Baryonyx too. Um, how about making the Carno the free one? It's a little cheap. And the rest a lot. I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. Um, we'll have like different like rarity tiers of dinosaurs, but everything should be viable. Um, why are they so special looking? Well, what do you mean by special? What it is I stole some art from Wikipedia because I don't want to steal anything that is like from like a somebody's art profile. But I'm okay just cribbing some stuff from Wikipedia to use, and then I remix them, just kind of adding some basic concepts for ideas I have for some stylization of the dinosaurs very quickly, of course, and then I recolored them also very quickly. And then when I came to animate these, I chopped out their legs and I animated 4 entire frames very quickly and very poorly. And this is all just because I need something in the game to represent it. And I'm not an artist, so I'm not going to be sitting here spending a bunch of time trying to make things look nice when like I'm not that. I'll have to hire an artist if we ever actually have this at a point where it's starting to look like a real full game. Um, all right, so for the sprite here, let's code some logic so that he wanders around. Um, so we need to get the x coordinate, which I think we can just do. What the heck is the thing? I forgot. Yeah, show debug message. And we should be able to just do X. And this should just tell us where he is. Let's do a step so that we get that every time, every frame. It should just be the same like coordinates, but yeah, he's starting at around like 50 or something. That's mostly what I want to know. But then he clips off the screen at around 500. I don't really want him to overstep the buttons though. Yeah, no, it's not great. The it's supposed to be like with the Carno, this is supposed to be the thigh for the front leg, but it really doesn't translate. So I tried to basically take what was originally the back leg and tried to make the thigh here now shift forward to like project that as the front leg. Um, the leg facing the camera is the one that's now in front, but it doesn't really work well. But again, like this is a minute of work. The baryonyx is also rubbish in the same way, kind of what I tried to do to translate that. They're both bad in like different ways. Yeah, model work is difficult and beyond me. And sprite work obviously also not my bag. Um, I mean, like my basic goal here is a vertical slice. Just kind of showing off the whole concept of how you raise and fight in the game, that kind of stuff, and not being so worried about the presentation of that. The game's supposed to have mutations? Yeah. So the idea would be that you would have every dinosaur would have a unique genome consisting of a set of chromosomes, which would control the different features of that dinosaur. So you would like level up, you would get access to different attacks and abilities that are based off your chromosome set. And then you can breed dinosaurs, and then you get a cross set of chromosomes like you do in real life, right? Half from the mother, half from the father. And that would make a different variation on the dinosaur. And then there's systems for passing along some of your stat growth to the next generation. So the idea would kind of be you'd raise up a few generations to get like the ultimate fighter, that kind of thing. And then if I ever made this a real game, post-release would be cross-species hybridization, where you could combine theoretically any two species in the game, take a chromosome set from each and get some sort of crossed monstrosity. But hybridization is not a core feature. So I consider that like a beta update 2 or something, essentially. I'm not going to put a bunch of effort into hybridization unless I actually have a game. That's the idea there. Okay, so this guy's walking. So we don't need to look at the debug message anymore. What we need to do is turn him around. So if x is greater than, say, 500, if I do speed equals -1, does the game recognize that? Yeah, exactly. First, get a game. First is not even get a game. First is get a vertical slice of a game. Is he gonna? Oh my god, he goes backwards. It's that easy. Okay, cool. Is there a tutorial for rookies for this? So this is a game maker. Like this is straight up game dev for rookies. So there's some there's definitely like a lot of tutorial stuff out there you can get for game maker. It even allows you to like do some game dev stuff without even coding. I'm personally working in the code interface. Hey Rugops, but you can also choose to do visual, which will allow you to kind of do pseudo code stuff by visually connecting elements together. If you're new to game dev, it's a great place to start. Or if you just kind of want to make something that's not like 3D, complicated, you can do it in here too. There's games that are made in Game Maker that are sold on Steam and whatnot. So it's like fully viable. It's a fully viable engine to build a game in for like commercial publications. Would you call Wally a clanker? I mean, maybe. There's some layers to that. Okay, so next question. Can we invert a sprite? So when he turns backwards, how do you mirror a sprite using scripts? But I don't even know if this is Game Maker. Best way to flip the sprite horizontally. That is... Oh, because I didn't even put Game Maker in my query. Okay. Mirroring a sprite with code. Image X scale and Y scale. So if we do this, image X scale equals -1, it'll just invert. Why does the Carnotaurus have wings? Because it's funny. Because it's a riff on the prehistoric planet Okay, well he went all the fucking way over there. He turned backwards, but he teleported across the screen. Why did that happen? Now he's gone. Well, anyway. Why did he reset position? But yeah, anyway, the prehistoric planet Carnotaurus doing his like arm signaling thing. I was like, well, what if he did that, but he actually just had feathers? That would be kind of neat. So that's why. Yeah, I don't know anything about model rigging like at all. I've got no experience with Blender. That's why my goal for this is like purely pixel art and sprite work. I mean, I have a lot of nostalgia for sprite-based games anyway, having grown up in the Nintendo, Super Nintendo era. Um, so I'm perfectly happy just to do sprite stuff. Okay, so it inverts, but then it like resets to its like original position. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because he's too like it's inverting, but it's turning the left side, like the right side now is the left side, right? So like when he turns around, he's instantly turning completely in space. and his head is where the very tip of his tail was. Except the sprite is actually wider than that. Like the outline around the sprite is too big, which is just further exacerbating that. I don't know. It really seems like he like. Let's watch this again. It seems like he turned around more than that. Because like the end of the sprite should be somewhere around here. Yeah. Okay. So it's taking the sprite and it's like turning a page in a book. So what we should do is we do this. We do x plus equals what is this guy's width? The sprite's width. 1156. Okay, well he did something. um Oh man, there'll be some sort of ability animations. They might be cutscenes. I haven't fully decided. Why does that do that? Okay, new science experiment. Let's just delete a digit. If we shift the x coordinate by 150, then what happens? Wait, why did why did he go zipping off into space? Why was he super fast? What was that? Um. Oh. No, I know why. Because this is it's a runaway loop. Um. Once he's past the 500 coordinate, he just infinitely goes to infinity. He's not animating. He just it literally just rocketed off the image off screen. Um. It's my overall opinion on power scaling. I think it's boring. Coming from somebody who grew up on Dragon Ball, I've had more than enough power scaling discussions to last my entire life, and it's just dull. Okay, we managed to stick him in space. Fascinating. All right. Let's see here. I want to check something. I want to see. Let's disable this. Let's just check what the x coordinates look like when we invert them so that I can understand what's happening here. So he starts out at 70-ish. He walks this way. He hits 500. He turns around. Now it's counting down. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Wait, okay, so when it's inverted, he keeps the x coordinate the same, which means what? Wait, how does this? Oh, because it shoots him past 500 and then he goes forever. Yeah. Um, how do I make this work? If x, what if I do equals 500? at that exact moment in time. And then let's think about this value. So he flips. So what was x equals 1,100 becomes x equals minus 1,100. That's the position of his head. 0 is the tip of his tail, like always, even when he changes orientation. So when we rotate him in space, we want to kind of rotate him around his hips, which would be like, call it 500. So plus 500 would then need to be negative 500. So I should subtract off the position of the sprite? Because the sprite is in the negative direction? Does that make any sense? Oh, he's gone. Ah, shit. Power scaling an original character is also just, like, very silly. What did this achieve? Let's drop this down. If we put, so the moment he hits 500, he resets minus 156. Let's do minus like 400. But then he rotates. Wait, this is just going to put him even further off screen to the other side, right? Yeah. Wait. So it should be like plus position. I was right before. No, yeah, the issue was just that it was a runaway thing. Okay, wait. No, yeah, that works. Okay, so this was supposed to be 1156. Yeah, okay, there it just works. Okay. Also, why did he get stretched? Wait. Okay. Okay. That worked out. Yeah, I never did Roblox or nothing, but I've done scientific programming. So that's where my shit's coming from. Why he big? Is it resetting to the original sprite size? I bet you it is. So if we do this, because I resized the sprite in the lobby there. So if we do this, this should tell us, yeah, 0.78 is the sprite scale size. So we want negative 0.78 so we don't grow. Okay, so now he'll walk backwards and he'll walk off screen in the other direction. Let's put this back to reading out X. I'm sure, I would imagine Roblox is still like good for learning some scripting behaviors and stuff, but it was always after my time, so. Okay, so now he turns around. His coordinate is shrinking back down. Somewhere around a value of now, say, 800. So if I do this, if x equals 800, and then we reset his speed to positive, reset the image scale to positive, and then I guess we remove 11,000 from x coordinate. Then he like walks back and forth. What would you do if you saw an orca beat up God themselves? I would get my phone out and start recording. That sounds like great content. I could put that shit up on YouTube. Oh my god, he's walking back and forth. Okay, is it gonna loop again? Nice. We did it. Okay, cool. Very cool. Um those are too generic. I need a name. See, this is why I don't have a name for the game is I don't want it to just be Jurassic blah blah blah, prehistoric blah blah blah. It needs a name that's punchy, a name that's unique. There's too many generic ass dinosaur name games. Okay, I think this is good enough. I don't feel my original idea here was to have it walk back and forth randomly. I don't know if that's viable. I think I know how to do this actually. Let's do it. Fuck it. We're just kind of doing some random stuff tonight. We're not like going hard on new features. We're just making it look a little bit more. We added music. We got some basic sprite animations. We got this random walk cycle. Let's just keep going. So if we can go to the scripts for the attacks because I don't remember how to do our random numbers. Random range. No, wait, integer. There should be a random. We found this last time, or like a random integer. Where do we use this? What do we use random integers for? We use this for training. Dino System, yes. I played Dino System on the channel. I mean, I don't know if it was you that told me about it, but somebody told me about Dino System. We did like one video or something. Passage of time, get text, condition check. Where is my training scripts? Well, I got stat growth. I random rate -1. Wait, is that? Only returns integers. Upper range from which the number will be selected. Okay, so this returns 0 to value. Interesting. Okay. We can use that. That's fine for this. So it's been updated quite a lot since then, I would imagine. Yeah, I haven't looked at it recently. That all sounds crazy, Rugraps. Also, just caring about power scaling in Final Fantasy is also funny. Like, just levels. I enjoy me some Final Fantasy, but I would never want to like extract something from a Final Fantasy game and try to compare it to anything else. It seems very silly to me. Um, so how do I do this? We do. Wait, I want to look at the x coordinates again. Because when it inverts, it like gets really confusing on its positioning. So it starts at essentially 0 or close enough to it that we don't care. It goes up to 500, which is where he turns back. We should probably change that to like 400. And then it inverts. When it inverts, the coordinate jumps because his tail is like in the other direction. Then he clips off the screen over here. Now he's going negative. Wait. Oh yeah, because he's off the screen there. Right. Okay, so the trick would be if I have a low number and then I have a high number. This should work. Okay, I know how to do this. I got it. I think. So if we do a random integer up to the range of, say, let's do 400. Then we do a random integer up to the range of, we did 800 for turning around, so that seems fine. Then the only time wait. No, this doesn't quite work. I need this second one to be 2 major updates. Interesting. Yeah, we should check it out again sometime. Not right now. Right now is GWE3's time, so how do I do this? I need No, we do this. We do random 2 is like 400 plus 401 plus the randomly generated integer. Yes. And then this becomes rand 1. And this becomes rand 2. And now in theory, he will arbitrarily walk. JW3 comes out in late October. But like right now it's, you know, hype season, video stuff to cover for that. Stuff like that. Okay, I'm waiting for him to turn around prematurely because that's what we're looking for here. In theory, he shouldn't always walk to the same position, but he kind of is. Uh-oh. Is he running away? We've let him escape the bounds of the game. He's gone off to join reality. He's real now. Now he can hurt us. And he'll never come back either. He's outside the bounds of reality. We better close the game. I need to try and remember what my name I had for it was. I got part of a name. But I don't want the name to be publicly known anyway. Because then somebody can take it. Okay, so do these... Okay, are these working conceptually? Actually, let's just do x comma rand 1 comma rand 2. Oh, yeah, that's why he came back. He didn't want to pay taxes. Okay, so why does my debug message not show all of these? Probably because like it just doesn't. Let's try this. Okay, that was different. He just looped around and didn't change direction. Uh, so oh, premature direction change. So it sort of works. It half works. Okay, T Rex is gonna be a rare unlock probably. I don't want to get too much into the finer points of the lore, but T Rex is probably something you'll have to work to bring back. What is how much do I hate gotcha games? Like an 8 maybe. I don't hate the concept of a gotcha game. I hate the way gotcha games are typically monetized, right? That's like a subtle difference. Like I played Dragon Ball Breakers for a bit, had a lot of fun with that game. That game has a gotcha progression system. It's kind of bullshit, but it wasn't like a deal breaker. But like the monetization definitely made it more annoying and worse than it had to be. So like you could consider like some roguelike deck builders to be gotcha games technically, right? Because like you've got an element of rarity and randomization, but they're not monetized, right? So like that's why I'm saying there's like a subtle like gotcha game carries with it the inherent, expectation that you're paying for random pulls and shit, which sucks. I don't hate the concept of random pulls though. Like I play fucking card games. I've literally got this shit to do a video on because there's a Jurassic Park card game now. Uh, so we're doing that next week sometime. I could, yeah, conceptually I could play a gotcha game if I liked the mechanics and it was like an upfront $30 purchase and no microtransactions. I could be on board with that. Like I don't necessarily hate that. It really depends on implementation because it can still be dumb, but like if like I played trading card games like my whole life. I am used to I am used to what is essentially gotcha stuff. All right, so this vaguely functions, but not in the way I want this to. Can we do any way to make this better, or should I just come back to this some other day? Because it's not exactly important. I think we'll get rid of the random walk part here. We'll just have him paste the screen for now. That's enough. So we'll do 400, and this was 800, I think we had. And we can worry about redoing this another time. I want to not have him overlap the buttons so much. Maybe it's okay with his tail. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Let's do like 300, I guess, on X. Like, it doesn't have to be just gambling. Like, there's an element to like a trading card game where the randomization of resources is a gameplay mechanic. Like, that's what makes limited format trading card games interesting, or draft format trading card games, right? That shit's really fun. And it's really fun from like a gameplay perspective of like, you know, you got common pieces that you can rely on getting for a particular strategy, and you've got rare pieces that can make a strategy really good, but you can't count on getting them. And so when you have access to a limited pile of resources, you know, and you have to figure out a way to like have some sort of viable build based on that. That's very exciting to me. Um, and that doesn't need to be gambling. Like you can do a TCG draft without spending any money. You just make your own card packs or your own rule system for how the drafting works. Okay, so we're gonna leave this part here alone. That is good enough. So we're getting to the end of the stream. We're not there yet. Um, we're gonna go for like another 30 minutes or something, probably. Maybe less than that. Maybe like 20 minutes, 15. Um, Let me message my gym buddy. I gotta go to the gym tonight too. All right. I want to start the genetic system. At least start putting in the infrastructure for that. So the initial thing to do here is go back to where we initialize all of our things, which is under title stuff, which is certainly a thing. So we got the player character here, which is all hard coded. So the question becomes, how do I want to set this up? Let's go here. Title screen. This is presumably title stuff. Yep. Let's do a new object. For the sake of just having this in its own spot, I think. Let's call it just genetic info. There's probably a better place to initialize it. Multiplayer is a good question mark. It should be multiplayer. It should have a versus tournament mode. That should be a core feature. But also that is the thing I have the least confidence in creating. So that isn't way off in the future. Like on the list of things I would want done before I sold this game, it would have multiplayer versus. Is there an inherent optimal way to store like variables, like global behind the scenes, not even like global variables, like game data? Because I was thinking about this. Do I want to store my game data outside of Game Maker? Like, I don't know if I should have, like some sort of data archive where all like the, move effects and stats and stuff live, or if I should put it in the game engine proper, or like, is chat going to be added? No, almost certainly not. File handling. What is the best way to store and load data? Yeah, I just want like an opinion on that. Any read and any write. I could do any files. Maybe that's the way to do it. Textiles, binary files, and buffers. What Pokemon? I could just take my boy Scyther. He's pretty good. Depending on generation, he should start with Wing Attack. That gives him a good stab move. It's going to be a card game in the future? No, this is a battler. RPG-esque. Raising dinosaurs to fight in tournaments. Battler. Like Monster Rancher. If you want an idea of what this game would look like conceptually, look up Monster Rancher. The idea being you're raising and combining generations of dinosaurs to make like the best battler you can make to get through high ranked tournaments and so on and so forth. So I think we'll do it like this for now. We'll just do this little thing here as our test case, and then we'll look at any files maybe later. Because I need to think about this. Because like the problem with an any file, like anybody could jump in there and like edit it at a whim, and I don't hate that. I'm pro modding, but like that gets complicated with like multiplayer. So I might want to think about doing something like a database or something. I don't know. You can have only one any file open at a time. I mean, I guess you can, yeah, you can convert the any file information to variables. I don't know. I don't know if the answer then is an any file though. Because you would want to separate out like creature data, move data, and stuff. Yeah, but you only get Shedinja if you have a Pokeball, and those don't exist in real life, right? I don't know. All right, we're not going to worry about this right now. This is like proper alpha beta shit. So we'll just do it in this object so that it's all in one spot and we can just play with it and we don't have to edit an external file. Okay. So, hey Ali, how's it going? I mean, in Pokemon, you can use Wing Attack without flying. So, all right. So I have a draft of the genetic system. Let me find my notes. It is 48 chromosomes in a dinosaur genome for the game. Well, that's if you pick a one-stage Pokemon, then you know you never have to wait for it to evolve. It's just optimized straight from the go. Um, So we need to think about how to format the data. Just for the sake of like readability, usability. Let's go here. So like for this, we did this sort of struct. And I don't know if I want to do this again. I probably can. This is probably fine enough. Yeah, I don't really miss teaching labs and stuff. Teaching a proper class, I can see that being exhausting, so that's why I never wanted to be a professor. Of course, now I just don't have a job, so maybe I should have tried to be a professor. Shit. So, yeah, I think we'll just do this sort of struct. I don't know. And then how else do we want to configure this? Because like we'll have I would want to embed this. So we would do like this, like Carnotaurus, and then we would have like the genetic sequence stored in here. Like this, like chromosome 1, and then some sort of label for the effect that we could decode later. Will the game have Megaraptorids? Yes. Right now, I have drafts of the roster. For the vertical slice, it's just Carno and Baryonyx initially. And then I want to expand that out into about 8 animals for a proper tournament bracket. And then that would be the full vertical slice. Like, basically, I want the vertical slice to be, here's your dinosaur, here's how you raise it, take care of it, go fight in the tournament. And that's the game loop, right? So the idea being the real game would have multiple tournaments with different kinds of enemies. This game would have one tournament with the same enemies you can replay over and over again. And the real game, you would be able to pick your dinosaurs and generate new ones and do more there. And none of that is planned for the initial vertical slice. This is my dinosaur raising game that is currently untitled. Won't let me run it while this is here. So what we currently have we have this. So this is our little ranch raising scene. We've got our little crude dinosaur that walks around. We've got a basic financial value here that is deducted from for money. It's Pokemon adjacent. It's not that Pokemon-ish. We have discipline, which is not implemented, but this would describe, how well behaved the animal is. If it's got low discipline, he'll rebel. If the discipline is high, he'll obey you. Hunger rate, you got to feed him. Stress would reduce his lifespan. You have his age. At some point, he will die. So you'll need a new animal. Or you'll want to retire him for breeding and breed, a second generation, raise that up. His name, his species, current date, training system. These are the 5 core attributes. These are trained in a pseudo-random way where you have a rate at which they increase based on the animal. So you do training for a day increments by 1, age increments by 1 day, stress increments, hunger increments. So the idea is fundamentally that you're like spending time raising up your guy, but you have to, keep him fed, keep him happy. At some point you have to let him rest to deal with stress. Then you go enter battles. This is the demo battle. With our music we added today as a filler. And you want to win tournaments to keep your, financial situation afloat. So the battles are pseudo real time. You have a HP bar, you have a resource. The resource is used to pay for your attacks, which also have cooldowns and potentially additional conditions that you have to meet. And you can push the other guy back if you get too close. We're going to die because we always lose this fight because the Baryonyx is broken. Then when you lose a fight, you can lose lifespan, you can get overly stressed, you could instantly die depending on the situation. So yeah, that's kind of the basic gameplay loop. I plan to implement a level system, which is mostly used for unlocking attacks. You raise your stats by training up the monster, which is based around, your lifespan and limited opportunities to do stuff. And then your level is raised through training and battle and just gives you access to your character abilities. Separate from his lifespan, separate from his stat raises. That's kind of the idea I'm going with currently. Monster Rancher has a different system for unlocking attacks and stuff, but I think I like this idea. Meet me there after 11. Okay. Yeah, I should probably bounce if I'm gonna make it to the store before they close. Is Baryonyx broken or am I just bad at my own game? Yeah, the Baryonyx is pretty busted. Um, Something about the combination of his effects, his like attacks and a stat spread just makes him like way better than the Carno, even though they're balanced technically, because like I gave them like the same distribution of stats and access to like the same amount of moves, but the Baryonyx just kicks my ass every time, so his shit's just better. um the Baryonyx is more accurate and like more evasive, so the Carnotaurus has a harder time hitting him, and the Baryonyx has an easier time hitting the Carno. So like the stat balancing might not really be the best. There's probably needs some stuff to get done there. Um, but like I'm not gonna worry about balance right now. I mean, we've implemented training, so currently like there is no actual lifespan. The only or like you can't even really run out of money. Like you run out of money, but it doesn't matter. So technically, you could train the Carnotaurus up constantly until he just wins. So it's fine. Yeah, and currently, like the thought is the genetic system with these chromosomes. Every chromosome has two genes, and the genes are like your base stats, your stat growth, some information, some stuff that transfers from the dinosaur parents, your moves, your passive abilities, your movement rate in battle, your generation of your resource in battle, like all the different little parameters of your guy are controlled by these chromosomes and these genes on the chromosomes. And then when you breed dinosaurs together, um, you know, just like with real animals, you'll get some crossover between the chromosomes that'll give you a subtly different or a substantially different dinosaur depending on how things are. No microtransactions. It would be a standalone single pay game. Maybe DLCs or something. I don't know. This is like so far out in the future. We're not gonna worry about it. We have to have a game first. But yeah, I gotta run, so we're gonna wrap the stream up here. Um, so yeah, I'll this genetic stuff. We're not doing it tonight. We just don't have time. So um, oh, we have a bunch of JWE3 stuff this weekend. We have Frontier will be streaming JWE footage on Saturday and Sunday. I'll have to double check and make sure it's not tomorrow. But we're gonna be re-streaming Frontier's stream, just like we did for their other previous streams. So there should be like 3 hours of new JWE3 footage this weekend. So that'll be fun. Um, Last time here before you turn 21. Well, congratulations. Have a good birthday. Don't get too drunk. And if you do, call an Uber or something, I guess. I don't know.